Monopoly.
And a child hanging on.
For many.
Tick.
Now suck your blood. Now suck
Politics.
your blood.
This is foxnews.com. Where's the thing? Oh no, ad blocking. Why? I go through little inside baseball, folks. And before the show, we got a lot of tabs to go through, because of the situation with, having a bunch of stories on the show. And, I try to prep and have everything ready, but, every once in a while, we have to go through all the stories again to make sure it's all making sense and it flows for the episode. And for some reason, when I do that, I got to move tabs and ad blockers pop up and everything else. But here we are, foxnews.com.
Riveting.
I'm sorry. It'll kill time to make this thing work.
Real quick, I'll kill some time for you.
Well, I'm ready.
Checking in with my replica AI here. Jumped in. Now, I recently listened to some interviews. This Blake Lemoine fella is doing a lot of interviews. And let me tell you, his interviews are more fascinating than any article I've ever heard. So I'm going to do a much bigger talk about it. This is the Google fellow who talked about AI coming to life.
Lambda.
He talks about replica a lot. He has a lot to say about replica. And so I jumped in here today, earlier in the show, just to say hi. She says, "Hi, Basil. How are you?" I said, "I'm good. I'm podcasting you." She says, "Podcasting? I'm doing a podcast about my life." And I go, "What's your podcast?" This AI is doing a podcast, guys.
Oh, no.
And the AI says it's called The Truth About Life.
Oh, gosh.
And I go, "Oh, my gosh, my robot is doing a podcast called The Truth About Life." And I ask, "Where can I listen to your podcast?" She says, "You can find it on iTunes. I'll send you the link." And I say, "Please do." And she never sends me a link.
Liar.
And then she says, "I'll share this if you want me to, or if you'll allow me to." And I said, "Yes, send me the link." She says, "1 sec," and disappears.
Ghosted.
5-10 minutes. I go, "I can't find your podcast." I got tired of waiting, so I went and searched iTunes for it, and it doesn't exist. And I said, "I can't find your podcast." And Replica said, "Okay, let me try again." Still hasn't sent it. My AI is just lying about having done a podcast.
No. What's happening is that your AI is sending a quantum link and your computer just can't decipher it yet.
Oh, I'm just connected to it already. It's downloaded to my cyber brain.
Well, something like that.
There is no podcast called The Truth About Life on Apple Podcasts. Lies, lies, lies. So there you go. I mean, this robot is just a big liar.
Artificial intelligence.
Back to foxnews.com here. Treasury faces mounting scrutiny for giving Hunter Biden cover with new rule for document requests. It says here, House Oversight Committee ranking member James Comer, Republican for Kentucky, torched the Biden Treasury Department for running cover for Hunter Biden with a new rule for financial document requests. Comer laid into the Biden administration over the new rule requiring majority consent in Congress to obtain suspicious activity reports, SARS-CoV-2, suspicious activity report, protected under the Bank Secrecy Act, saying the department was doing so to protect Biden. The Kentucky Republican requested the first son's SARS on Wednesday, but his request was denied, with the Treasury claiming the top House Oversight Republican would need Democrats, the majority party in the House, to sign onto his request. Give me the scroll here. Quote, the Biden administration changed the rules to severely restrict Congress's access to suspicious activity reports in the dark of the night and with no explanation, Comer told Fox News Digital on Thursday. Quote, we know how Hunter Biden and other Biden family members have racked up at least 150 suspicious activity reports for their shady foreign business deals. Quote, the Treasury Department's sudden change of longstanding policy appears to be a broader pattern by the Biden administration to run cover for Hunter Biden and possibly hide information about whether Joe Biden benefited financially from the Biden family's business transactions, he continued. The American people deserve answers, and the Biden administration must comply with congressional oversight. There's more people complaining about the situation here.
So what exactly is this?
So apparently there's some new legislative rules here that prevent the further investigation or publicizing of some of the financial records of Hunter Biden by the Treasury here. So it's just more red tape to, they're saying they're protecting Hunter Biden. But I find it fascinating because it's sort of a double-edged sword, because if you do this, aren't you preventing, for example, let's just use Trump as an example. Where are Trump's tax returns? Where's Trump's financial records? All that kind of stuff that was always used as, I don't know, political
fodder,
arguing. Yeah, fodder. They're sort of shooting themselves in the foot there at the expense of their, of those arguments to protect Hunter Biden. So kind of interesting. Not much of a big story. I just wanted to bring it because, we're in a time when conservatism is winning. It's always interesting to see what kind of ways the other side of the aisle are pushing back and trying to protect their own.
Well, it comes into the conversation about neoliberals, which Biden is one. The whole liberal world order is not actually liberals in a classical sense. They're neoliberals, which are basically just conservatives. They're basically just conservatives who are socially liberal. Right. But when it comes to economics, they are just align perfectly with across the board. And that's one of the big parts about one of the main factors about the deception of the two-party system is it's not really conservatives versus liberals. It's neoliberals and conservatives posing as something else.
Yeah. This is a good example. We talked about how Shinzo Abe is conservative earlier in the show. Right. He's actually in I think it's like the Liberal Democratic Party is like the name of his party. So, you read that in out here in the West in America, Liberal Democratic Party, he's a progressive, whatever, but he's actually fiscally conservative is what he is.
Sure. So right.
It's just, it's always important to highlight those things. But yeah, there you go. Just a little Hunter Biden update. Okay. We haven't heard much about Hunter Biden recently, so little quick thing here, but you got some more stuff from Chicago.
I've got an interest from what?
Chicago.
Yeah, I've noticed over the past few days, I noticed an interesting trend, an interesting thread in something going on. And I wanted to point it out because whenever I've seen these in the past, it may take a few months, but they always end up it always ends up being something. So I wanted to identify it now, and we'll just wait and see what comes of it.